Hello, I'm Craig Brailsford, and welcome to another episode of Small Stocks, Big Money. For those of you new to the show, RedChip is an investor relations, media, and research firm focused on emerging growth companies. Our unique platform combines global multimedia with traditional investor relations, reaching investors around the world. Now, today's show features interviews with the executives of two public companies. First up is FATPipe Incorporated. FATPipe is a pioneer in secure, software-defined networking technologies that simplify and fortify enterprise connectivity. The company develops and markets enterprise-class software solutions, including software-defined wide-area networking, secure access service edge, and network monitoring services that enable customers to unify, secure, and optimize their digital infrastructure across cloud, hybrid, and on-premise environments. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Up next is Nexalin Technology. Nexalin is a pioneering medical device company advancing non-invasive neurostimulation to address the global mental health crisis. Powered by its proprietary deep intracranial frequency stimulation, or DIFs, Nexalin's Gen 2 device and Gen 3 Halo Clarity headset target deep brain structures linked to mental health and systemic conditions without drugs or side effects. Recent peer-reviewed research highlights DIFs' potential to reduce blood pressure in patients with depression, reinforcing its broader health benefits. Nexalin's virtual clinic platform integrates AI-driven tools for at-home treatment and real-time monitoring, enhancing care accessibility and outcomes. With regulatory approvals in China, Brazil, and Oman, and CE mark targeting underway, Nexalin is expanding globally. The company also serves as industry co-chair of the National TBI Registry Coalition and is supporting UC San Diego's clinical trials on PTSD and TBI in veterans, underscoring its leadership in neurohealth innovation. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Before we dive into our first interview, let's take a moment to recognize some of RedChip's top performers in 2024. Among them, RedCat RCAT, up an incredible 1,293% in 2024. Alliance Entertainment, soaring by 842%, Gorilla Technology, which gained 250%, and Nova Minerals, up 149%. These companies have demonstrated the immense potential of the small-cap market. Before we move forward, let's take a look at RedChat, a revolutionary AI chatbot for small-cap stock analysis.
For 32 years, RedChip has been discovering tomorrow's blue chips today. With early research on Starbucks, Celsius, Daktronics, Winnebago, and more, now we bring you RedChat, an innovative AI solution which gives you answers in seconds on over 2,000 small-cap stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. Visit redchip.com today and use RedChat, your AI small-cap assistant. RedChat.
Now, let's move on to our quote of the week. It comes from the book, Small Stocks, Big Money. Work hard, be a long-term thinker, develop tenacity, and remember, nothing happens without taking calculated risks. This quote comes from Phil Sassower of the Phoenix Group, and it is featured in Chapter 9 of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book of exclusive interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon today for just $18. Now, let's get started with our first interview today with FATPipe. Today we have Dr. Bhaskar Ragula, President and CEO of FATPipe Networks, trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker FATN. Dr. Bhaskar, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be on your show.
And also, congratulations on that recent IPO on the NASDAQ. Now, for viewers who may be new to the space, what exactly does FATPipe do, and why is your technology essential in today's enterprise networking environment?
Thank you. Very good question, actually. In a 30-second line, we take multiple data lines from multiple data carriers like AT&T, Verizon, Lumen, and we combine them into one single corporate network in a seamless manner with high security, high bandwidth, and high reliability and redundancy. So essentially, you could be anywhere in the world, your company, and you can take any local last mile technology, and we can give you a very high security, high reliability, high redundancy, and high bandwidth network. So that's what we do.
Bhaskar, let's turn to the software-defined wide area networks, or SD-WAN. That market alone projected to grow to more than $17 billion by 2030. How is FatPipe positioned to capture a meaningful share of it?
Yeah. So far, we were self-funded. Now that we are public, we have the ability to raise the funds needed to grow our business. So we are aggressively focused on adding more salespeople, both in the United States and some other parts of the world, to capture part of that growing market. Pretty much all the money we raise is targeted for sales growth, and hopefully that will help us capture a significant part of that market.
You've built a network of more than 100 reseller partners. How does that engine help drive FatPipe's growth?
Yes, our primary sales channel is the channel partners. They account for most of our sales. And our focus now is to add more salespeople who will focus on the channel partners to help them succeed. For instance, we have pretty much all the major networking channel partners in the country, and the additional funds that we have raised will help us grow the relationship with the channel partners to help them sell more FatPipe.
FatPipe has a portfolio of 13 foundational patents. What are some of the key innovations that set your platform apart?
All the patents are very unique technology that provide the highest level of transmission security, reliability, and speed. And they all help us provide a product that has the best product in the market for corporate communications, intra-corporate communications, as well as helping cities and counties take care of their citizens.
Bhaskar, could you break down that subscription model for us? How do your 36 to 60-month contracts contribute to long-term visibility and cash flow?
Yes, our 36-month and 60-month contracts are really good for us as a company because we have a steady revenue flow and it's spread over multiple years. And the fact that we have good visibility on these customers gives us good visibility on the revenue stream and the cash flow stream over the next 36 months to 60 months. In an independent survey by Software Reviews last year, 100% of the customers they reviewed said they will renew the service, and 96% said they will recommend our product to others. So that gives us a significant amount of comfort in the fact that these customers are loyal to us, and we can count on the revenues for the next 36 months to 60 months. So that gives a lot of visibility into the future.
With decades of experience between you and your co-founder, how are you leveraging that history of innovation to shape FatPipe's future in what is, of course, a rapidly evolving network landscape?
Yeah. Our most important focus is the customer. We are always talking to our customer. I am talking to our customer, our CTO is in front of the customers. She travels to meet them. So we know about the customer's problem before the customer can verbalize them. And that is how, when we walk in, we are trying to understand their needs. And before they know what solutions they look for, we come back, we create a solution, we patent it, or we keep it proprietary, and we deliver a product to them. And that is how we are always ahead of the game, because we are smaller, we are nimble, we are customer focused, and we are listening to what the customer needs are before he knows what his solutions are out there in the market.
Final question, the essential value proposition. Why should an investor take an interest in FatPipe right now?
Because in multiple surveys, independent surveys like Gartner, we were always rated the #1 product and the #1 service. We provide white glove service, we manage the network, and so the funding, the going public helps us spread the word to larger base of customers.
Bhaskar, thank you for being on our show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, to get more information on FatPipe, visit fatninfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like FatPipe. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel, and also go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can also order your copy of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book written by RedChip CEO featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Order your copy on Amazon today for just $18. Before we move forward, let's take a look at RedChat, a revolutionary AI chatbot for small-cap stock analysis.
For 32 years, RedChip has been discovering tomorrow's blue chips today with early research on Starbucks, Celsius, Daktronics, Winnebago, and more. Now we bring you RedChat, an innovative AI solution which gives you answers in seconds on over 2,000 small-cap stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. Visit redchip.com today and use RedChat, your AI small-cap assistant. RedChat.
Now let's move on to our next interview today with Nexalin Technology. Hello, today we have Mark White, CEO of Nexalin Technology, trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker NXL. Mark, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Craig. Thanks for having me back. It's a pleasure.
Now, Mark, for those just discovering Nexalin, how would you describe the mission behind your technology and what sets Nexalin apart in the mental health space?
Our mission is to change the standard of care from drugs, side effects, and other types of situations that are uncomfortable for the patient into a digital treatment called digital medicine, if you will, that's non-invasive, no discomfort, no side effects, 2 to 3 times the efficacy of medication, and ultimately can be offered in the privacy of your home with your doctor's oversight and management through a virtual clinic, in other words, a digital ecosystem.
Now, as you just alluded to, Mark, it's a non-invasive and not only that, drug-free and, of course, AI-monitored treatment that you've created over there at Nexalin. How close are we to seeing this become a mainstream option in clinical care settings?
So the predecessor to what we call our Halo has been in clinical testing literally all over the world. It's been in a clinical setting in its generation 1 technology. So what's happening today and what can everyone expect, especially as it relates to AI, artificial intelligence? So we've taken all of our, basically our processing systems, all of the hardware, and we've condensed it down into a Halo headset. This is a whole brain stimulation device. We're going to stimulate through the front lobe of the brain. We're going to stimulate behind each ear. This entire system can be digitally monitored through an app, which can be digitally uploaded into the clouds, which can be managed and prescribed. So the device is under the prescription and management of a medical health professional. Already we are in clinical testing with our digital ecosystem, what we call our Nexalin Virtual Clinic. The Halo's been through feasibility testing. We're in the design, comfort, fit, and efficacy stage. So when will you see all of this available to the public? Depending on the FDA, depending on the clinical trials, anywhere from 12 to 24 months. And the application of treatment could be anything from insomnia to anxiety, all the way to the other end of the spectrum, could be addiction, alcoholism, or most importantly, Alzheimer's dementia.
Mark, you've just enrolled your first patients in a UC San Diego clinical trial for post-traumatic stress disorder and traumatic brain injury. That's huge. Now, what excites you the most about Halo Clarity's role in that research?
Oh, man, we could spend all afternoon on that. There are layers of validation that this technology has created for itself because of the design team, the engineers, the biomedical engineers. Basically, we've taken everything that we've ever learned about non-invasive stimulation of the brain over the last 75 years, including shock therapy, light stimulation, sound stimulation, even the little toys you buy on the internet with the batteries that you're going to hook on your ears or put a little sponge on your forehead. What did we do with all that information? We learned what not to do. We learned what to do. So what's the most exciting part about Nexalin? It's a whole brain stimulation technique that does not rely on electrical energy as its treatment standard. It relies on frequencies. In other words, we talk to the brain in its native language to promote health and wellness at 75 to 90% efficacy in clinically published trials. And we've now found an opportunity with the United States military to treat traumatic brain injury and the symptoms associated with PTSD. So what's exciting? The technology, the fact that it can be administered in a headset in the privacy of your home, the fact that the entire treatment can be monitored through a digital system that incorporates the processing computers on the headband of this headset into the app of the phone, into the cloud, into the doctor's portal. This is the future of mental health care. There is not any other technique like it in the world. This is a standard that we have set all to ourselves. And this is where the real value of Nexalin comes in, not only in the investment community, because I know we have a lot of investors online, but more importantly, for the patients that are suffering, whether it's your family members, your children, your parents, or your friends in the military, wherever those are that are suffering from a mental health issue, we are here with a new standard of care. It's the future.
Mark, your team has got regulatory approvals in China, Brazil, and Oman, and you're targeting a CE mark in Europe. What does global expansion look like for Nexalin this year, 2025, and beyond?
So you got to add the FDA onto that list. So yes, NMPA China, Middle East Ministry of Health, South America, Deputy Centers of Health, United States, FDA, and CE marks. Now, some will say, well, you should have started with the FDA. No, what we did is we left the United States where we could invest tens of millions of dollars and get a return on that investment from a clinical science standpoint, a data model that would validate the safety and efficacy of the technology. And that then stimulated an entire global plan that allowed us to get clearances in the areas we just mentioned. Where we are is existing clearances, as you started with, China, Middle East, South America. We're building distribution systems, building joint venture partners, building clinical models, using KOLs in those respective territories. We're going to see some revenues start developing literally into Q3, Q4 of 2025 and going all the way into 26 and 27 on a nice gradual but somewhat extreme ramp in income in those areas as well. And while we're doing that, we'll be developing and finishing our clinical trials in the United States with the FDA. And while we're doing the FDA, we're using our pilot data and new data coming in from pilot projects for CE clearance in Europe and the notified bodies. So it's a global business because it's a global epidemic, and we have a global science model, distribution model. As I mentioned earlier, this is the future and the standard of care of mental health. It's not a toy you can buy on the internet. It is a real medical device.
Mark, final question. Maxim recently updated its coverage on Nexalin, keeping, of course, its buy rating and raising its price target from $3 to $5. What should investors know about the road ahead and Nexalin's value proposition right now?
Okay, let's do a quick history lesson on that. So we were at 60 cents, and Maxim came in and did some research, some coverage. I spent hours and hours with their research team, their analytical team. They came out and did a buy at $3. Nexalin had some success in the clinical areas and the intellectual protection areas, i.e. Alzheimer's dementia from a clinical standpoint. We are then getting intellectual protection on all the underlying hardware and waveform designs that we've been talking about. Our stock went to 375 and hovered between 3 and 375. Sometimes it would spike. Unfortunately, because of the new administration and some of the decisions about tariffs, we've seen a pullback. During that pullback, we actually went through another round of analysis with the team at Maxim, and our buy, I actually think there was a period where we were hold at 3. But anyway, the good news is for everybody listening is that Maxim came out with a recommendation of buy at $5. So what does that mean? As everybody can see, we're trading, I think, around $1.75 today. Based on just the little bit of information I just gave everybody, you can see what's the value proposition. This is the future of mental health care. This company is in a very good position to become, if we're not already the leader in non-invasive stimulation, we are quickly becoming, and that's just going to take some time for the clinical community and the physician community to understand what it is that we're doing. So that's a lot of information, Craig, but the bottom line is we are a long-term vision company, and we're not doing these short-term goals. These are long-term decisions for valuation, and most importantly, treatment, safety, and efficacy for patients that are suffering.
It's a great story, Mark. Thanks for sharing it with us today.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to check in with RedChip and give you guys an update. And there's more to come, so I look forward to our next meeting.
Now, to get more information on Nexalin Technology, visit nxlinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Nexalin Technology. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can order Small Stocks, Big Money. This is a book written by RedChip CEO, featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon for $18. Now let's recap the companies featured today. First, you met FATPipe Incorporated, FATN, on the NASDAQ. FATPipe is a pioneer in secure, software-defined networking technologies that simplify and fortify enterprise connectivity. The company develops and markets enterprise-class software solutions, including software-defined wide-area networking, secure access service edge, and network monitoring services that enable customers to unify, secure, and optimize their digital infrastructure across cloud, hybrid, and on-premise environments. Learn more at www.fatninfo.com. Then you met Nexalin Technology, NXL, on the NASDAQ. Nexalin Technology is a pioneering medical device company advancing non-invasive neurostimulation to address the global mental health crisis. Powered by its proprietary deep intracranial frequency stimulation, or DIFs, Nexalin's Gen 2 device and Gen 3 Halo Clarity headset target deep brain structures linked to mental health and systemic conditions without drugs or side effects. Recent peer-reviewed research highlights DIFs' potential to reduce blood pressure in patients with depression, reinforcing its broader health benefits. Nexalin's virtual clinic platform integrates AI-driven tools for at-home treatment and real-time monitoring, enhancing care accessibility and outcomes. With regulatory approvals in China, Brazil, and Oman, and CE mark targeting underway, Nexalin is expanding globally. The company also serves as industry co-chair of the National TBI Registry Coalition and is supporting UC San Diego's clinical trials on PTSD and TBI in veterans, underscoring its leadership in neurohealth innovation. Learn more at www.nxlinfo.com. Don't forget to check out our stocks page. It is the biggest small-cap stock portal in the industry. It has every company listed on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange with a market cap of $2 billion and less, and it's categorized by industries. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel, and be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter and learn about a lot of small-cap companies. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, if you have any questions about any of our public companies featured on today's show, call us at 1-800-RedChip or email us at info@redchip.com. In closing, remember, while small caps can provide significant gains, you must be prepared for the downside. Small cap stocks are among the most volatile of asset classes. Some of the companies featured on this show are RedChip client companies, and we may own stock in these companies, so please, always read our disclosures at redchip.com. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next week with some new, exciting emerging growth companies.